Kenneth Branagh's new Agatha Christie adaptation Death on the Nile takes a while to get to any murder or mystery. In fact, a bird gets eaten by crocodile before any humans bite the dust. Overly heavy on exposition and potential killers. Nile, out of 4, rated PG-13, in theaters Friday, returns Branagh to the director's chair and behind the awesomely bushy mustache of ace detective Hercule Poirot for a whodunit slightly better than the previous starry vehicle 2017's forgettable Murder on the Orient Express. The action happens on a steamship rather than a train this time, though still finds itself veering off the rails as it drags out the setup and rushes the reveals. Death at least looks cool and glamorous, even if embattled star Armie Hammer is a marketing team's nightmare. The 10 most must-see films from The Batman to Top Gun: Maverick. Poirot's latest case is set in 1937 Egypt, where he just happens to be spending a holiday enjoying Jaffa cakes and a splendid view of the Sphinx. A pair of newlyweds, fabulously rich heiress Lynette Ridgway, Gal Gadot, and her considerably less wealthy new husband Simon Doyle, Hammer, are throwing a lavish wedding party for themselves and a boatload of guests on the Nile. One problem: Jacqueline de Belfort, Emma Mackey, Lynette's former bestie and Simon's jilted lover, is stalking them on their honeymoon adventures and packing a .22 caliber handgun. Worrying what her old pal's capable of, Lynette brings Poirot into the fold, inviting him onto the steamer SS Karnak for champagne revelry and unfortunately murder. When someone winds up shot in the head, and the main suspect has a pretty good alibi, Poirot seeks out clues in a mystery that grows overcomplicated and speeds toward a finale resolved way too quickly. One's reminded of the spoofy rapid-fire denouement of the 1980s comedy Clue, which is probably not what you'd want in an Ernest Christie tale. Despite a few missteps, Kenneth Branagh's Belfast is an Oscar-bound crowd-pleaser. The laundry list of suspects includes Poirot's confidant Book, Tom Bateman, and his mom, Annette Bening, Lynette's former fiancé, a Dr. Russell Brand, Lynette's cousin, Ali Fazal, the trustee to her riches, Lynette's godmother, Jennifer Saunders, and her nurse companion, Dawn French, and the new bridesmaid, Rose Leslie. Michael Green's screenplay tweaks the original source material, expanding the supporting cast and making some changes. A well-known blues musician, Sophie Okonedo, and her manager niece, Letitia Wright, who's also Lynette's school chum, were a romance novelist and her daughter in the Christie book. There's also a new emphasis on Poirot's backstory, digging into the origins of that mustache and taking the character back to his days as a Belgian soldier in World War I. Branagh seems to be in his black and white period between the flashback opening of Nile and his Oscar-contending coming-of-age tale Belfast. One thing Orient Express had going for it was visually arresting scenery, and Branagh continues that theme in this installment's grimy battlefield scenes, sweaty jazz club soirees, and sprawling Egyptian locales like Habu Simbel, where Lynette and Simon get frisky at the Temple of Ramses II. Woman says Armie Hammer raped her, LAPD investigating. What neither the film's vintage style nor Poirot's epic stash can hide is a major optics problem. The thriller was delayed multiple times because of COVID-19, as well as allegations of rape and abusive behavior against Hammer. Knowing the claims against the movie's lead actor makes scenes with him and a woman doing the 30s dance equivalent of the bump and grind seem rather icky. and right too came under criticism following the Black Panther star's controversial stance on vaccines, though acting-wise she's one of the standouts alongside Bateman and Mackie. The film also suffers from feeling way too old school. 2 years after the release of Orient Express, Knives Out reinvented the all-star murder mystery in a fun and refreshing fashion, and Branagh's latest just seems stale in comparison, with no new life in this death.